Welcome to the deep dive. Glad you could join us. Today, we're going to be looking at something pretty special. It's the Citizen Promaster Skyhawk A-T, specifically that really striking Blue Angels edition. We've got some great source material, detailed excerpts about this watch, and, well, our mission today is to really unpack it, figure out what makes it such a standout example of precision engineering, but also iconic design, too. It's built for some pretty demanding environments, and I'm actually really excited to explore how it blends that high-tech timing side with this, like, thrilling aviation heritage.
Absolutely. And that's really the core of it. We're going to dive into how this watch isn't just a list of features. It's a complete tool designed for, real world, sometimes high stakes situations. We'll connect all those functions to why they're there, what they're for, and look at the bigger picture too, the design inspiration, the unique mix of cutting edge tech and, well, a really powerful heritage that makes it pretty special.
Okay, so let's start with that legacy, the ProMaster line itself. Where did that come from? Citizen brought these out back in 1989, didn't they?
They did, yes. 1989, and the whole idea was professional grade tool watches. They were very clear about it, engineered specifically for sea, air, and land.
Right, so not just fashion pieces. These were meant to be used, properly used.
Exactly. You could rely on them when things got serious. And the ProMaster Skyhawk, the one we're looking at, it fits perfectly into that air collection. What's interesting, I think, is how it aims to appeal to, well, maybe two groups at once.
Oh, yeah. Who's that?
You've got your traditional pilot watch fans, people who love that classic aviation instrument look. But then you also have people who are really drawn to the high-tech side of things, the latest timing tech.
That's a tricky balance, isn't it? Appealing to both the sort of purist and the tech fan.
It is. And Citizen seems to manage it by blending those classic pilot watch looks, the big readable dial, the solid case with all the advanced stuff underneath.
Like the Eco Drive.
Exactly. Eco Drive, atomic timekeeping, we'll get into those.
Yeah.
They respect the heritage, but they also push the boundaries with the tech. They don't compromise the tool aspect.
Yeah.
And that tends to satisfy both crowds, I think.
Okay, speaking of heritage, this is where it gets, well, really visually interesting. That Blue Angels connection. The first thing you notice is that color scheme, that really vibrant blue and yellow.
Oh, yeah, it pops.
It does. And it instantly makes you think of the Blue Angels, the U.S. Navy's elite flight team. You can almost picture them, right? The F/A-18s, the precision flying. This watch just captures that energy.
It's very deliberate. And it's not just like slapped on. The way they've integrated it is quite clever. You've got the Blue Angels insignia, the crest, actually on the analog digital dial.
Ah, okay. Subtle but clear.
Yeah, with those yellow highlights tying it all together. And then for a sort of bolder statement, it's there in full color on the case back.
On the back, right? Solid case back.
Yeah, solid steel case back.
Yeah.
Leaves you in no doubt what the inspiration is and the kind of precision it represents.
Okay. Let's get into the nuts and bolts then. The actual specs. What makes this thing tick physically? We're looking at, price-wise, around $750, according to our sources.
Correct.
Case diameter is 45 millimeters, thickness 15 millimeters, and lug-to-lug about 52 mil.
So quite substantial dimensions.
Definitely has wrist presence. It's not a small watch. Plus, 200 meters water resistance, sapphire crystal, and a stainless steel case. Seems pretty rugged.
Absolutely. Those specs paint a picture of a robust tool. That 45 millimeter size, it feels substantial, like a proper instrument. And the 15 millimeter thickness, it actually helps with usability, makes it easier to grip the bezel, maybe even with gloves on.
Ah, good point. For a pilot, maybe.
It could be crucial. And moving from the outside in, the real heart is the movement. The Eco Drive caliber U680.
Right, the U680. What's special about that one? I know Eco Drive is Citizen's light power tech.
It is. And the U680 is one of their more complex, multifunction quartz movements, really refined for these kinds of watches, reliable, precise. But yeah, the key things are Eco Drive, so it's powered by any light source. And the A-T in the name.
Atomic timekeeping.
Exactly. Atomic timekeeping. It syncs automatically with atomic clocks using radio signals, so it's incredibly accurate. And that Eco Drive, it's designed to run for, what, almost a year and a half on a full charge?
Yeah, something like that. It's impressive.
It really is. And it kind of begs the question, doesn't it? How does this tech really elevate the watch beyond just telling time, especially in those demanding high-stakes fields?
That is a good question. I think, for me, the brilliance of Eco Drive, especially back when they developed it, wasn't just convenience. It was about reliability for tool watches. Eliminating the battery change problem, a potential failure point for a pilot or diver, that was pretty forward-thinking.
That's a great point. Reliability is key. And you combine that power source reliability with the always-on accuracy of atomic timekeeping.
Huh.
Well, you get a watch that just works. Always running, always spot-on accurate. It reduces the things the wearer needs to worry about.
Okay, so the core tech is solid. What about the specific functions? You mentioned it's multifunction. How does that play out for, say, a pilot? That blue analog digital dial, you mentioned it earlier. Apparently, it's inspired by radar screens.
Yeah, the coordinate axis design you see on some cockpit displays is another subtle nod to aviation. And the functions themselves, there are quite a few packed in there. It really does feel like a sort of wrist-mounted flight computer in a way.
So what do we got? There's a dual-time UTC display.
Coordinated universal time. Essential for pilots operating across time zones. Keeps everything standardized.
Okay. And a chronograph.
Yep. Measures down to 1100th of a second. So very precise timing for flight legs, fuel calculations, things like that.
Got it. Perpetual calendar, too, so the date is always right.
Correct. Don't need to fiddle with it. Plus 2 alarms. And then the really classic pilot watch feature.
The slide rule bezel.
The rotating slide rule bezel. Yeah. It's basically a mini computer, an analog one, right on the watch.
How does that work? I mean, what can you actually do with it?
Well, if you know how to use it, and it does take a bit of learning, you can do quick calculations. Things like fuel consumption, flight time estimates, airspeed, distance conversions.
Wow. Okay, so actual flight calculations on the fly.
Exactly. Multiplication, division, unit conversions is a really cool piece of analog tech that connects directly back to traditional aviation navigation. Needs no batteries either.
So it really isn't just a random collection of features then. They all seem geared towards aviation needs. Tracking time globally with UTC, precise timing with the chrono, calculations with the slide rule.
Precisely. It's a cohesive suite of tools. Each function serves a purpose relevant to flying, reinforcing that air designation in the Promaster line. It's built for utility.
Okay, so wrapping things up from our deep dive today, the Citizen Promaster Skyhawk A-T Blue Angels Edition. It really seems to hit that sweet spot, doesn't it? It's got the robust, pro-level build and features. It has that cutting-edge tech, the light power, the atomic accuracy. And then layered on top is that really striking, very specific design inspired by the Blue Angels.
Absolutely. It pulls all those threads together very effectively. It's clearly aimed at aviation pros and enthusiasts and delivers on both the form and the function.
Yeah, it feels like more than just a watch.
I think so. When you connect it to that bigger picture, it really is like a miniaturized flight instrument. It embodies that need for precision, for reliability, and it's a tribute, in a way, to the ingenuity needed in demanding fields like aviation. Kind of makes you pause and think about the engineering and the stories behind the tools we use, maybe even the everyday ones.
That's a great point. Which leads us to our final thought for you, the listener. As you look around at the tools and devices you use every day, maybe your phone, your car, even kitchen gadgets, if you were to do a deep dive into their design, their history, what unexpected connections might you find? Maybe connections to high-stakes professions or specific needs you never considered. How might understanding the why behind their creation change how you see them? Something to think about. Until next time on The Deep Dive.